What's up, everybody? This is Adam Joad, the Appalachian Apostle from Scattered Hamlet, and you're watching We Go to 11.
Why
don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
So I got a little bit ahead of myself here, but Nan, well, it's good catching up with you because I think with each thing that you guys do, you always reach out and go, "Hey, what's going on?" And I was like, "Well, we're mostly doing a lot of this video stuff." I think it's just more convenient anymore. It's like sitting there trying to bang out an interview, and then sometimes you forget stuff, and sometimes there's cool stuff that comes out on video that you overlook or whatever. But Scattered Hamlet, new video. I was watching it and I've watched it several times. King of the Road. I mean, it slots right in with everything you guys do, which does have this kind of twangy honky tonk edge to it. So well, tell us about the video first of all, because that's pretty cool looking.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, well, the song was funny. Like I've been when you were playing before, I've been on like this infatuation with 80s and 90s hip hop. and it always and I don't think in rock music we say our name enough. So I was telling the guys, I'm gonna say my name in a song, and they're like, "Yeah, how are you gonna work that in there without it being ridiculous?" I was like, "Yeah, hold my beer, watch this," and then
no, that works. I mean, I guess you can kind of consider him rock now as Kid Rock, right? He kind of morphed
that's
into
true, yeah.
But before, right? I mean, he was the only guy with guitars that used to mention his name in just about everything.
Yeah. But the video, I have a friend, he runs multiple businesses, and one of them is Hilltop Packs, and he does like custom backpacks for like hikers and things like that. And he also does like videography and stuff for like weddings. And he's a local guy where I live, and he wanted to take a crack at the video. So which was really so that was the first video he ever shot. Like it was wow. Yeah, he killed it.
It looks awesome. I was going to say, in this day and age, I mean, you even have bands that are signed to like like a Frontiers, right? Now that kind of Italian hard rock label, and they shoot those on a shoestring, and sometimes with stuff that you wouldn't even imagine they use to shoot, like an iPhone or something, So
yeah.
I was going to say, wow, that's awesome looking. So that was his first shot at this whole thing, and that's the end result.
Yeah, he edited that the same night and sent it back to us. Like I was expecting like a month or something to turn it around, dude. We didn't even bring our gear out the next day. Like we showed up to get our gear out because it was on the third floor of an old bar that burnt down in town. So it's like this old. So we had to carry this up 3 janky stairs, all those amps, and that was not fun. But yeah, we got back the next day to pick up the gear, and and he's like, "Here, I got it on my laptop. You want to see it?" We're like, "Yeah, sure." And it was honestly the first time we ever had and we've had a lot of cool videos, I think. And it was the first one that he showed us the first cut, and we had no comments. Like no one had any comments. We're just like, "Yeah, we dig it. Let's do it."
Right.
So it was definitely really cool.
So as far as the tune, I mean, because I think it's been a little bit since you put out, a collection of tunes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, has it been 21? Was it 21?
Hang on.
I mean, I think
I'm gonna look on it.
You're gonna have to look it up yourself. I was like, I don't have it in front of me, but I mean, I have the music. I think it was 21, but you know how sometimes time flies and you're like, it seems like it was probably a year or two ago or something.
Hang on. 2021 was the was the last album. Yeah, that was the last one. Yep. So that's
So it's been a little bit. So what's the game plan with this? I mean, because you have King of the Road out and did a video for it. Obviously, you guys are going to do some shows here in August. It sounds like
got some shows coming up. We did the whole album's recorded. So what we're gonna do is Spotify's algorithm hates us, so we're trying to for some whatever reason that I can think of a million years. It doesn't matter, but so we're releasing these as singles for the first couple, and then we'll put them out on like a proper full length, and then just still kind of release them one at a time on streaming platforms. But we'll give everybody a chance to, the people that like to buy physical copies can have the whole thing ahead of time, but everybody else is going to get like one song at a time. It seems to that single strategy seems to be what works. It's, I have my own opinions about it, but rather than fight what works, just
Right.
go
No,
with it.
and I kind of fall under the whole physical, thing. I mean, I'm kind of running out of space for stuff, but if you're selective, I think you pick up the right stuff,
Yeah,
then you'll have space for a little bit longer. But you're right. I mean, I think a lot of bands are kind of unleashing these singles, and a lot of times you see them put out like half the album before the album even comes out. So,
yeah, that's kind of where we are. We just are like, okay, this seems to be working for folks. People like it. More. I think people consume music like that because let's say we drop the whole album the same time we drop King of the Road. They might only listen to King of the Road, and then the rest of it gets lost in the shuffle. So, if we just kind of keep putting them out, I have them on. You can't see, but on my computer, like the list of them. We have 3 videos shot already, and we'll keep doing them. Some will have videos, some won't. We'll just I like videos. I grew up watching videos, so
right.
even if it's not, I know reels and stuff are more in vogue and stuff, but in TikTok or wherever the hell.
Right. So there's like a couple more videos shot already. Did you use the same fellow that
For
did
one
that?
of them, yeah,
Okay.
he did one, shot the same. It'll be like kind of the same type of vibe as King of the Road. And then there's another one that was shot. Actually, we shot it down here, so it'll be in the room facing that way, though, where the amps.
Right.
So we kind of shoved ourselves down here, and this is like I got a bunch of crap back here, but there's like like a Kiss shrine over there.
Oh yeah.
Memorabilia. This side is, I'm telling you guys what it is, but yeah, it's like Iron Maiden pictures, pig collections. It's just kind of stuff. When I collect things, I stick it on the wall.
Oh, there you go. See, so you're gonna run into the same situation as me, except it looks like you have a bigger space. It's gonna be a little longer before you run out of room.
Yeah, the other side is we, since we haven't really we've never settled with any record labels, so we run our whole mail order on the other side, the stuff we can handle. So all our hard copies and stuff go out from over there, like, so you can, whoever's working back there, can pack up the stuff, take it out to the post office. And
so you have these shows, tour in August, right? And so what's kind of the timetable you're looking at for having the album out there? I know you said you do physical, drop out, drop some singles, put them on streaming, and then eventually they'll get the whole album, but you hope to have the physical thing out on the front end. So what's kind of the timetable you're working with on that?
I'm waiting I want to get the physical out before the end of the year, and then each month we're going to be releasing something new on Spotify. So the next one that's coming out is a song called Boone Helm, and it's he's the Kentucky Cannibal. I was watching like YouTube.
That's why it sounds familiar. I was like,
there's a cannibal from Kentucky. So I watched the whole documentary, went downstairs, wrote a song about it, and I was like, that sounds like something we would talk about.
Oh, that'd be good.
King of the Road's about that's about this truck stop in Nitro, West Virginia. I always stop at on the way to Nashville, and it's just I mean, if you could picture like all the West Virginian stereotypes like in one place, and it's an amazing place. There's meth heads and there's pit bulls running around. There, last time I was there, some lady was demanding her fax inside. I know you can get faxes, but she was like,
"Oh wow!"
At the counter was like, "I don't know, but where do you get your faxes?" And she was pounding her hand. Yes, we have great stuff. So we had the. I spent the night there one time when I was just trying to crash, like when I was driving too much, and I ended up pulling my 45 on some crackhead that was hanging around the trail.
Oh wow!
It was one of those fun nights.
And, how much did you sleep?
Oh Lord! After that, I was done. I was like,
oh yeah.
But yeah, I went in. It was funny because again, this is like a local, hillbilly story. I went in and told the lady, I was like, hey, just there's one of the meth heads over there that's living in his car is. I'm making fun of him for living in his car. I'm sleeping in a truck stop.
Right.
But I told her, I was like, I just probably pulled my pistol out and ran him off. So if the police come, she goes, oh, no, you did good, honey. You run those boys out. And I was like, God. All right, I was like, okay. I just figured I would divulge what occurred.
Right.
Well, there was any confusion. No, that was fine. She's like, yeah, you just run them boys off. And that was the end of
Oh,
that.
jeez.
Back on our next day, you know.
Yeah, back on the road after that, huh?
It's only a few hours from where I live, so it's not too bad. But you know, it's just sometimes those last 2 hours can be a, you know, you don't want to be unsafe. And
Mhm. Yeah. So, okay, so you guys have done quite a few of the festival circuit. So,
yeah.
any plans on doing any of that stuff here at the tail end of summer? Because we still have a few weeks of that.
Yeah, no, we didn't get on any of the ones this year. You know, it's still kind of I don't really exactly know how that works. Like it's funny, like even my friends and like other bands will be like, "Hey, how'd you get on that?" I was like, "I don't know. I'll let you know if I know." Like, you know, we go through the same process every time. Sometimes we get picked, sometimes we
Hmm.
don't. And most of them they try to stagger like
Right.
every year, which uh is makes sense, you know, for people. And also I know that a lot of them are brought up by the same person. So they're kind of all starting to look very similar, you know, which has positives and negatives. You know, I'm not going to pretend to be a promoter to understand that, but
Right.
yeah, I don't know. You know, we'll put it again, you know, about this time and next year maybe we'll get picked up for some, maybe we won't, you know. I It's funny, I have friends that, you know, in bands our size that'll get on every opening slot, you know, for bigger bands, like and go on regular tours, and they couldn't get a festival to save their life. And
Hmm.
we never get picked to go out as an opening act for bands, but we'll get the festival. So it's like, and we'll
Yeah.
like, I don't know, just it's kind of like poker. You just play whatever hand you get dealt. You know, it's like they're all good. It's all good stuff. You know.
Yeah. It's like no real logic to it, it sounds
Yeah.
like.
No. No.
Hey, out of curiosity, when you guys do those big festival appearances, and how much merch do you bring up, and do you see a pop? Because as far as you guys are concerned, I mean, you bring a pretty energetic performance, and you do all sorts of different things there on
Yeah.
stage.
You know, for us, I have again, it's one of those weird things. Like we do well at festivals. Like for
Mhm.
I think it's because of the, you know, our ridiculousness, you know, my infatuation with Kiss and, you know,
Mhm.
like big showy kind of stuff. We end up doing really well. We'll sell a lot of merch, you know, and I have some festivals will sell more merch than others.
Mhm.
And sometimes you know, I have friends, you know, that are in great bands that, you know, could outdraw us in any club and they could play at a festival and they don't go over as well at a festival for just whatever reason, you know, and
Mhm.
it's so I don't know. It just depends, like, because I don't know if there's just a certain expectation that festival goers have, or it's
Mhm.
just they're, you know, drunk bobbing up and down in a field and they want to hear trucker speed rock,
Right.
or I don't know, you know, it's maybe, you know, but it's completely one of those enigmas. So we, you know, it works in our favor. You know, we sell merch and depending on the way they let us sell merch, if we can set our own prices and do things our own way, we do really well.
Mhm.
If they make us, you know, some festivals have a lot of rules where
Right.
they'll make you like match whatever the headliner's selling their shirt for. So, you know, if I don't know, I don't even want to say a band's name, but like let's say band A that's headlining this festival is selling shirts for $45, which is insane.
Mhm.
Um, if we have to sell our shirt for $45, we're not going to sell that many, because if, you know, rather than a person being able to buy a couple $20 t-shirts, they're going to buy one and they're probably going to buy that guy's t-shirt, you know,
Right.
instead of ours, you know, which is understandable. You know, they just saw us for the first time. So
Right. And those are crazy. I mean, I was looking at Photoshop screenshots of the Hagar tour, and they're up to like 60 bucks for like a t-shirt. And I'm sitting there going, wow, that's pretty nuts.
yeah,
Considering, you used to be able to get them for like 12 or something back
yeah,
when you used to be able to get into a show for like under 18 bucks.
yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. You know, like I even see when we're doing I've been upset a couple times and had to change, you know, not change it, but you know, make it clear the next time, you know, we'd show up to like a venue or somewhere and you'd be like, man, you know, not this usually a good market. Not a lot of people show up, and you see what they were charging for tickets. And you're like,
Right.
wait a minute. No, don't. So, you know, we've had to kind of put that like in our clause to make it, you know, like affordable for people. Like somebody wants to, you know, bring, you know, a couple people out or a group of friends, if they have to
Hmm.
pay, you know, a lot of money, um, to see something in a smaller venue that, they don't want to play big venue prices. And I don't know. I just figure keep the price low. Then people come. If they want to buy merch, they can buy merch. They'll buy more beer from the venue and everybody wins instead of, just choking everybody, for whatever price. That's just that's my take anyway.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I want to ask you, because I know you're a country fan. I mean, have you ever thought about doing like a country album, like a solo record, where either you cover stuff, particular covers, or you did original material? Because I think all that stuff would kind of slot right in, I think, with what you do with Scattered too.
Yeah, it probably would. Our manager tells us it all the time, and I'm kind of like the person that if you try to like tell me my business, I'll be like, well, I'm not doing it then, just to show you.
Yeah.
But no, it's actually a pretty good idea. I kind of feel, here's one of my beefs about it though. Like I feel that, and maybe this is arrogant, but I feel that I have a legitimate claim to a country background. And some of the people that I see that are putting out country albums, I think are a little disingenuous because they're not country at all to me.
Right.
And like Beyonce put out a country album. It's like, listen, I'm not saying it's not good. And I've never even listened to it. I don't want to, but I don't really care what Beyonce has to say about country music because she's not country. She's a pop goddess. And great. I certainly can't be a pop goddess, but I don't try to be either. So there's a little bit of so to me, there's with everybody trying it, I would be more inclined, and I don't know if anyone would like it. But I've messed around with it, haven't got exactly what I wanted, but I'd be more inclined to do like a folk country-ish, kind of like almost like a Springsteen, Nebraska kind of vibe, like more stripped down.
Right.
But I would like to do something like that, but I really don't know what I want to say with the album yet, if that makes sense. Because if I do it, I want it to be a little more, SH is about, it's high octane, like rock, it's not, we're not reinventing the wheel, or we're not talking about serious subjects. But I think if I did something like that, I would actually want to say something, and I'm not really sure what I want to say.
Right. So, and the next thing, I was going to say, I don't know if you're familiar with the Super Suckers. They've done some of that country-ish. I mean, I almost think that, you guys could pull something up, like pull off something like that, or you could do it solo. I mean, again, that's kind of one of those things where they're not necessarily country, but they pulled it off fairly well, I think.
I like a couple of people have done it well. We played with the Super Suckers in New Jersey. I played with them again in LA. I'm fans of those guys. I think they're great. I couldn't tell you if Eddie hates or likes me, because he's like the same. It was one of the oddest. He was a really hard guy to read, but like I mean, he was nice enough to us. But like I couldn't say that I bonded with him or anything,
Right.
But
Interesting.
Yeah, it was funny. Like he was just a character. Like they pulled up, and I'm a fan, and they pulled up, and I was helping them move their gear in, and I was like, hey, we just played with you guys not too long ago. We're up before tonight. He goes, oh, then don't touch any of our fucking gear. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I just stepped away, but I realized it was almost like a respect thing. He wasn't saying it because he didn't want us to touch his gear. He's saying, you're in a band that's playing with us. You shouldn't be moving stuff in and out for us. It's
I see.
Like, you see what I mean? It's kind of I was like, oh, that was kind of like a cool, respectful thing. But at first you're like, damn, I'm sorry, but that was kind of like where I was, that was my takeaway. Like, oh, okay. I'm starting to I didn't spend enough time to kind of understand what he was thinking or saying. So it was actually a cool thing. I was like, oh, okay, I see what's happening. But, and who else did that well? The country thing is Mike Ness from Fortune.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh,
those are awesome.
I have an 80 Les Paul Deluxe back there, and it's just because Mike Ness uses 70s Les Paul Deluxes, and I couldn't find a 70s one at the time when I had money. But that's why I have that back there. But I'm a big Mike Ness fan too, and I think, but again, both those guys, Mike Ness always says something in his music, like he's really good at that, and he collaborates with Springsteen too. So yes, but both those guys do it well, and I would like to try some. Yes, to answer your question, I would love to try something like that, but it has to have a certain you know, it's got to be legit. It's got to be something good. I feel, you know, that I can be
Yeah.
proud of.
Yeah. Right. Nice. Well, okay. So a couple things more, and then I'll cut you loose. I'll cut you loose, and I'm going to reach out to you because I have an idea for something where maybe we can check in periodically, and more so now that new stuff's coming up along the way. So I'll reach out to you about that. But I had two more questions. One, you know, you're a martial arts guy, and I don't know if that's the proper way to put it because I'm not a martial arts guy. But who do you think ruled the 80s? Movies? Was it Norris? Was it Van Damme or Seagal when it comes to that?
Yeah, they're all, you know, it's hard with Seagal because he's such like a douchebag now.
Yeah, he is.
But I mean, it's just him. But you know, and I've heard varying perspectives about. He is a legit Aikido practitioner, which is that is a legit practice, which is a lot about disarming swords and stuff. I don't know anything about it. I do jujitsu and like mixed martial arts. So I'm more like of a cage fighter kind of person. So I don't know much of that. But me, in terms of like enjoyment, like I was like, I really like Chuck Norris, both as a martial artist, as an actor, and his background's great. Like he was one of the people that gave like Jean-Jacques Machado, who gave my first instructor his black belt. Chuck Norris actually got him his first dojo when he came from Brazil to America. You know, he's from the Gracie family. So Chuck Norris, behind the closed doors, has done a lot for, like, you know, different types of martial arts, you know, and obviously, like, you know, jiu-jitsu is not like a pretty martial art. It's not like a really good movie martial art, but yeah, but he got Machado's thing, and Eddie Bravo and like Joe Rogan went to Machado. Then Eddie went by his own. Eddie is the guy I got my blue belt from, that I'm now back at a place here in West Virginia. But yeah, but that's kind of like Lynch. So Chuck Norris, I have to say, just from like the tie-in, you know, anybody correct me if I got this wrong.
No, but what's your favorite Norris movie?
Oh Lord, you know, it's you know, I might go to the oh Lord, I can't even all like the missing in actions. I even like the Texas Ranger stuff. Like I could watch that. Like,
well, you mean like the show? I'm thinking of like a Lone Wolf and Quaid. I mean, it's cheesy, but it's a pretty good movie. I mean, come on.
I agree. Honestly, there's not one of those movies that's Van Damme, Seagal, or Chuck Norris that will come on that I wouldn't watch. Like, you know, so it's you know, I would watch them. Maybe some of the later what do you call it? Seagal ones where he was like in his own movies. So we can leave those behind.
Yeah. Those suck. They're not very good. They're not very good. I mean, I think every one of those action heroes has somewhat of a shelf life. I mean, I think you think of like the Charles Bronson. It's like the dude's like, what? I don't know how old he was in the later movies. It's like, dude, you're not an action hero anymore.
Oh, but you know what though? If you play it right, it can work. Like, remember like how Clint Eastwood did The Unforgiven, where he was the fighter. See, he still came off like, you know, if you play it right, you know, like I'll tell you what, a great one. It's not a martial arts one, but Death Hunt with Charles Bronson.
Oh yeah,
with the Mad Trapper in Canada. It has like Carl Weathers in it. That's a good one too. That's
that's a nice one. So maybe that's what we can do next time is chat 80s movies. You know, you bring 5, I bring 5, and we chat about those. But here's what I got. We'll plug the video. We'll put all your social media links onto this thing once we get it up and running, and we'll get you a link. The one thing I'll have for you, and I'm sure you have a story, and I'm sure it probably has something to do with that keg. Do you have a Spinal Tap story? You know, that is transpired throughout your time.
Yeah, but
go for it.
My favorite Spinal Tap moment is so we were at it was at Sturgis, and we were opening for Kid Rock. And there's a shitload of people, like people as far as you can see. And I get out on stage, and I don't know what occurred, but like I get out there and I go to hit like the first big like power chord on my guitar, you know, after I say whatever hyped up thing I say, and there's no sound coming out of my guitar whatsoever. And it turned out that Kid Rock's production was so big, it took every wireless frequency that my wireless at the time could use. So my wireless was just like, nah, it was already like taken over. So I had like no wireless, and I didn't have a cable. Like, so I just didn't have a guitar cable, and I'm like, oh wow, like this is you think it was like my first rodeo. It's like I remember this is like some shit I would have done when I was like in a fire hall when I started out in like punk bands when I was a kid. And now here I am like in front of all these people like looking out there like, you know, and you know, we don't have backing tracks. So yeah, they're just not happening, you know, like, so I have to go back and I would say our bass player Rich at the time was Rich is notorious for leaving shit at places. Like, and I'm the guy who yells at him all the time for leaving stuff like that, the angry dad. And I had to like walk back and look at him and be like, bro, do you have a cable? Like in your bag? Like, and I just saw this grin come across his face. I was like, listen, you can fuck with me forever, but let's just, we got to fix this right now, you know?
Right.
He just handed me a brand new cable. I plugged it in. So I had to play not wireless and for a while. I got a new wireless after that. Jeez. But it was funny though, because he had every wireless, like, you know, at the time I didn't have a very sophisticated system.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's fun. Right.
Nice. Hey, dude, I'll reach out to you again. Once this goes online, I'll send you the link. And then once you get back, maybe we can reconnect again. I have some ideas.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, I could go off on this kind of stuff.
Yeah. And maybe we will. So let's do that again. Hey, thanks so much, man. And safe travels, huh?
All right. See ya.